Hi, I'm Ali and a warm welcome to the Ceramic Repair Studio. So in today's video I thought I would share with you how to glue broken ceramics. Now I have two items here. The first is a porcelain cup, and as you can see inside we have two broken pieces, and you can see where it's broken here, so we're going to fix this back on. And the second item is a porcelain bowl, which again broken in three pieces this time. You can always tell it's porcelain, one because it's quite light, and also if you hold it up to the light you can literally see through it. Now what you'll need for this is some glue, and I'm using Araldite glue here. It comes in two parts and it's a slow curing glue, so there's plenty of wiggle room. And I also collect little bottle tops, and so we're going to mix the glue in here. And also you just want just something like a toothpick, so you can actually dib in, and we'll use this to actually apply the glue. And I'm also using some scotch tape here. I prefer scotch tape to sellotape because when you do take it off, it doesn't actually leave a gluey residue mark. Now, which is optional, I do have some titanium powder here, so I'm just going to add a little bit to that as well. So what we're going to do first, we're going to first of all just take our piece, and I think I'll first of all work on the cup. And you want to make sure that the cup is already clean. As I say, this is quite finicky because it's in two small pieces. So we just want to sort of look and see where our pieces go first. And I can see that's going there. Now we need to glue them both at the same time, otherwise we'll end up with a lockout and you won't be able, so there's no point in applying two pieces, letting it dry and then apply it. Otherwise it's not going to fit and you won't get a tight fit. So first of all, with the first part of the glue, we just take a little bit. You can see I'm on the last dregs of this, and we're going to just put it into our little bottle top first and put the lid back on. And then we'll just take the other part. Now this is literally, as I say, I've almost finished with this, and you can see I can't take the lid off, so I'm actually just going to break it apart and see the glue oozing out. So we just finish this off today. Just add a bit of the glue again, so it's the right consistency, the right amount in there. So we just first of all just start to mix it together, and you'll know it's thoroughly mixed when it starts to go a cloudy colour, if you can see that. And then this is a point where I like to add just a tiny bit of titanium dioxide powder. You don't need to do this, but what it does, it actually stops the glue from going a yellow colour and discolouring. So you only need a tiny bit. If you put too much in, it will compromise the glue and it will not set so well. So as you can see, it's just going slightly whiter. Right, so first of all, we'll just take our piece and we're just going to glue it on one side, because you don't want to glue on both sides and then apply, otherwise it's going to act almost like a magnet wanting to magnetize going the other way apart. So first of all, we'll just take our piece, see where it needs to be, and let's just try this side. So we'll just go on this edge here, and we would just take a tiny piece of glue. Now this is very small and finicky. I think the bowl will be a lot easier. And you want just a very fine amount, and then just scrape it off. And we'll just do this part here as well on the end, and scrape off. And then we'll just gently apply. Now because this has gilding on it, we have to be very careful. You don't want any glue really on the gilding, and we certainly don't want to apply any of the tape onto the gilding either, because it will come off. So now we'll take our other part and just reassess. Now we've already glued this bit here, so this will not need gluing, we just need to glue this end. So again, I like to just take a tiny bit and then just gently apply. And then very carefully just take the part and slot it in. And then we just take some of our Scotch tape here. So we only need a tiny bit, and I'm going to go from the inside, and I'm trying to avoid any gilding. So first of all, you want to just make sure it's nice, and it's definitely without too many ridges. Whoops, too many ridges on there. So very finicky, very small pieces. Yeah, and then we just very, very lightly. And if it goes over slightly, you can actually just take the tape and just bend it over a little bit, just so it's not going onto the gilding. So just take the tape there, that's it. Hold down and just start to just place it into position. Now obviously, when something's broken, you are adding another element, which is the glue, so it's never going to be such a tight fit as if you didn't have, as before the glue. And also, you'll always find there will always be tiny shards which are missing, which I can see. If you can just see here, there's some little bits which are missing. Now I'm quite pleased with that, and so I'm just going to leave that for a moment, and we're going to leave it literally to cure for about 24 hours. I will keep coming back to it, and I will actually keep reassessing and just making sure it's a nice tight fit. Now if you do have any surplus glue, just take a piece of damp cloth and just very, very gently just take it off, like so. Particularly again, especially if you have gold gilding. So now for our second item here, which is actually, I thought it was a dish, it's not, it's actually a cup. So obviously we have a handle. So first of all, I like to apply the largest piece first. So obviously we're just going to look and assess where the piece is. And again, you always think it's going to be easy, but it never is. As you can see, it's just about. And actually sometimes things, if they it can actually move, so right, so now onto our cup, which I've just realised looking at the handle here. Now you could actually, we're going to use the two pieces here, we could actually try to go above and try to fix it in place, but because I would almost think of law of gravity, we're going to do it from another angle. So we're going to almost go from the bottom and work along that way. So we just want to put the first place in first and just see the two pieces where they're going to slot in. Again, you're never going to get a perfect fit, but you get a rough idea. So once we've done that, again, we're just going to go on one side here. So let's just take our glue and just very gently go along. Again, you don't want to apply too much, but you want to make sure that every surface where it's broken has been completely covered. And then just go along again with the cocktail stick, toothpick. And then just again, just a little dollop, and just work all the way along. When you are gluing, it's always a good idea to make sure that you're in a well ventilated room. Right, so once we've applied again with the other side, I'm just going to just make sure there's no surplus glue. And just work slightly around. You don't want to be scraping too much, so you don't want to create any little shards. Right, so once we've done that, so I'm just going to take my piece here and just gently place it. It's easier to tell when there's actually a pattern. And then just hold. And then just let the glue ooze out slightly if there's any surplus. And again, with your damp cloth, you can, at this point, whoops, can actually just hold and just take off any glue. And then we're going to take our Scotch tape here, and again there is a bit of gilding and a bit of painting, so I'm going to work from the top. And when you take your piece of Scotch tape, just cross it over at one end here, just fold it over so it's easy when it comes to be taken off. And then I'm just going to hold and just place there gently and pull and tighten. Right, so the next piece here. Now we have actually already glued this side, so we need to just take our piece and know where it's going to slot in, and we need to leave this side but just glue this end. Now because this has a handle, if you have a cup or a mug and you've fixed it back together again and it's nice and tight, you can use it for decorative purposes, but to be honest, once a handle has been broken or a piece with a handle, the glue, it's obviously been compromised, so you really don't want to be putting hot drinks into it and then picking it up. Otherwise it will actually break and you could end up with an accident and hot water all over you. So as I said before, when it comes to anything with a handle, never pick up with the handle because it may just come off again. So once we've done that, I'm just gently, we need to go from the inside, that part there as well. Let's take that. And again, just make sure that it's covered and just go over, get rid of any surplus, and also making sure that you've covered all the surface. And then once we've done that, I'm just slightly go from underneath a little bit, maybe a bit tricky, and just let it slot in like so and hold in place. Again, make sure there isn't any surplus glue. So hold it gently, particularly on the pattern. Right, and then again we'll just take our Scotch tape, fold it over at one end, and then where I can find a piece where there isn't any gilding, I'm just gently going to hold and just pull, just press down on that part there. And again, because I can see some painting, I'm just going to twist it slightly so it's not actually on any paint. So there we are. I'm going to leave this now for 24 hours. Again, I'm going to come back, I'm gently going to apply, make sure it's fine, and just keep coming back, gently pressing, getting a damp cloth, and again making sure there's no surplus glue, just so we can get a really good tight fit. So I hope you enjoyed this video today, and if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe and please give it a thumbs up, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Okay, bye.